you ready to make technology work for you? Tune in to Act on Tech, the podcast where we break down the latest tech trends and show you how to boost your productivity at home and in your business. So, subscribe to Act on Tech today and visit alexcustomtech.com to see how we can take your business to the next level. That's Act on Tech, your guide to smarter tech for a smarter business. Alex Custom Tech, IT means integrity and trust.
Hello, welcome to Act on Tech, where we talk all things technology. I'm Alex of Alex Custom Tech. Today's episode is about Mac in business, MacBook Pros, MacBook computers, iOS, the legendary Apple computers. When they make sense and when they don't. Okay? So this is not a fanboying type of thing, but let's just get into it. Right? This isn't about Windows versus Mac debate. I'm not gonna really have that debate. That's an old debate, and really and truly, it says more about the people having the debate than the actual devices themselves. And this is definitely not me fanboying either, and it's not fanboying content. I do fanboy over certain things, but it'll be more geek culture than anything else, like movies or games, right? When it comes to technology, I'm pretty streetless, right? And this is about really just a practical look at where Mac fits in business and business environment. That's what I'm talking about. Alex Custom Tech is here to solve small business to mid-sized business problems and kind of give you guys like insight into tech world and IT and hopefully get some clients for myself and some clients that I have or I've come across or I use Mac. Okay, so let's talk about what Mac is, right? And I mean not in detail, but like where does it fit, if it makes sense, for small business. And it's not about brand friction or how it makes sense and how it make the right decision really based on workflow and branding. Not branding, just workflow. Okay, so it's not a branding thing, it's not a fanboying thing, it's just Mac, where it fits, Windows, where it fits, Linux, where it fits. How to help you make the decision if you need one or not, or if you should get one or not in your business. So Apple has positioned itself, or Apple have positioned the Mac as a premium, creative, and professional tool. Nobody can debate that. That's kind of how they position themselves in the market. And in many cases, 100% that's true. And Macs are powerful, well-built, and stable. All right? Now, when it comes to business, though, and the decisions that business make, they should not make a decision to get a Mac based on aesthetics. Now, to be fair, I'm a very utilitarian person. I'm not very much into aesthetics, and this is sometimes when I go into clients' places and I'm doing things, I'm more focused on it working than how it looks. That's kind of like one of my what do you want to call it, weaknesses, right? I focus on, is it working more than how it looks? And it's very, very bad when you do like residential work, because you have to run cables and the wife might not like how it look on the wall. So people really do things, and sometimes they want that the combination, they want it to work, but they want it to look good. I'm more focused on it working than it looking good, right? And when it comes to Mac, people shouldn't really put Mac in a business based on aesthetics of it, or even reputation alone, right? Believe it or not, Mac has a reputation, and you can't really just do it based off its reputation. Like some people might say, "Oh, Mac don't get viruses," that kind of stuff, right? They should be making the decision on compatibility, workload, supportability, and cost. That's what I think. When I talk to clients, that's what we talk about: compatibility, workflow, supportability. Can I support it? And the cost of it. So let's see where Mac makes sense in the grand scheme of things in the business, right? So Mac works extremely well for the following, right? Audio production, video editing, graphic design, broadcast, and streaming. So for example, right, I personally use a MacBook Pro right here in the studio at Polyvan 97 FM to do audio tooling, because audio tooling is solid, the system is stable, and I can do DJ sets for a long time with a MacBook Pro, and the hardware and software is integrated. Its integration is very reliable, and I've had this for a couple of years now, like maybe 2-3 years, and it's still rock solid, right? So in a creative environment, MacBook always shines, right? And it's often the tool of choice for people who are creative, right? And not just a status choice. So even though I do DJing as a passion on the side, and I've always DJed, right, ever since I was a teenager, I never used to use a DVS system to DJ. But once I went into the DVS system and the kind of DVS system that I wanted for Polyvan 97 FM, MacBook was just the best choice. Now, I have another computer that I used to use prior to Mac. I used to use one of my MSI gaming computer, but I prefer the MacBook over that because of how solid and reliable it is. Then the gaming computer is a beast, but again, when it comes to the DJing and the audio production stuff, the MacBook just outshines it. It's not even in a class competition, right? So for developers and technical rules, many developers prefer MacBook or Macs because of, listen, here are the reasons why they prefer it. We talk about it a little bit. Unix based operating system. So iOS is based off of Unix, and you might be like, I'm going to it, right? Strong terminal and scripting support, right? That's why they use it. And easy access to Linux-like tools. Now, when we talk about Linux as a backend to hybrid environments and servers and stuff running on Linux, Mac ties into that very seamlessly, very smoothly. That's why people who code, do graphic design, they will go for a Mac over a Windows computer, right? And also, Mac natively supports containers and cloud workflow natively. Really smoothly does that. So for developers, Macs can be productive, very productive middle ground between Linux and Windows, in that kind of environment, right? So for executive or mobile professional, people who are on the road all the time, sales people, all that sort of stuff, they use Macs too. MacBook, like a MacBook Pro, like what we have here in the studio, they'll use that for like executive roles or consulting and remote professionals. They'll use that, right? And here's why they do it: because of the battery life, the battery life lock. I know I charge this. Today's Saturday. I charged this up. I think I charged my MacBook up at, I think it was like Monday, and I used it, and I still got life in it. I ain't gotta plug it in, right? So the battery life is pretty good. The build quality is pretty good. Sleep wake reliability. As soon as you turn it on, it come right up. And hardware lifespan. So you're not dealing with this whole outdated hardware stuff like you got going on with Windows 11. MacBook hardware is pretty reliable. So for a mobile person that works on the go, it's really good. Again, but it's a caveat to that, but it works pretty good. And it reduces friction, right? So that's like a big pro. So where Mac doesn't make any sense, where would I not recommend Mac? Right? So, like for instance, in a Windows only business environment. So, like I just told you, Polyval 97 FM is my passion project. That's my internet radio station, right? So in here, where I'm at right now, because I also record this podcast in the radio station, I have a couple computers in here, right? So I have 3 computers that's actually doing the daily broadcast. And I have 2 computers that do automation, and I can have one, but I have one as a backup. I'm very into redundancy, and I have another computer that does the streaming, right? All 3 computers are Windows, right? Now, when I do anything production wise. So if I'm doing anything, when I'm doing live sets, or I'm recording a set, or I'm doing anything like I'm doing the podcast and that kind of stuff, where I'm gonna have to record audio and then edit it and produce it, I use the MacBook, right? That's what I use. So this is a hybrid environment as far as like Windows and Mac working together, right? But Alex Custom Tech doesn't have any MacBook at all, because that's a heavily Windows environment. So because it's so heavily leaning on Windows because of Active Directory and that kind of stuff, it makes more sense to just run Windows in that environment where I can control things. Like you can control MacBook via Active Directory too, but you gotta like get third-party software and all sort of stuff to control it. But in a Windows-only software environment, I would not recommend a Mac. So let's talk about that. So many industries still rely on Windows-only accounting software, industry-specific tools, right? They might have like a tool for that particular industry and it only can run on Windows. Some people have legacy application that they just won't let go, like my day job that only runs on Windows, right? In these cases, for you to run a Mac, you have to do virtualization at a heavy level. You have compatibility headaches. You have to run if you talk about mods, not really mods, not really mods. They have to run like applications so that Windows applications can run on top of it, right? So you have to do that, and you have support compatibility issues. You have support complex. If you get support for the Mac in the Windows environment, that's a whole different animal. And sometimes some MSPs, they just do Windows. They don't touch Macs, and you have a good MSP service that might do both. And you have trust me, I've come across MSP guys that only do Mac. I don't know why, but that's the thing. And again, you can control Mac on a mass scale, because like what I do for my day job, it's not really Mac, but it's Apple, and I have a fleet of drivers, 200 and something drivers, and they all have the equipments in the truck. And we ordered tablets, iPads for the trucks, and they're installed in the trucks, and I manage all of those without going into the truck. So there's ways to do it, and there's an ecosystem there. Apple facilitates this, knowing that people would in some environment use their device in business, but like I said, it's not as streamlined as Windows. So that's kind of part of it, right? So when it doesn't make sense in an environment that's heavily Windows, structured, Windows only accounting software that they use, industry specific tools, legacy applications, all these kind of things, you have to really think about, like, I'm not going to bring a Mac into this environment in this situation, right? Because again, you have to do a lot of tweaking to the MacBook for it to be able to support these things, right? Now, also, I think you got to think about when it comes to Mac in business is the cost, right? So I mentioned that I have the radio station and I have the MacBook Pro. Now, I really wanted the MacBook Pro, and I'm not wealthy, so I really wanted the MacBook Pro, right? But I really thought about, like, when I bought that thing, and I spent a couple $1,000s for it, and I really was hurting, because I'm like, that's a lot of money to drop on just one computer, right? I mean, I could have got a couple computers for what I got the MacBook Pro for, but again, that I do good. Yeah, I love it. It's really good. And to believe it or not, it's been in the studio ever since I bought it. I don't think I ever took it out of the studio. It's just been in the studio. Like, I never took it out of the studio. It's just right here in the studio. It's a beautiful thing on the studio desk here, and it helped with the aesthetics of the studio. You know, I didn't buy for that, but when I did the studio, I really wanted it to be able to look like a studio. But that's not why I bought the MacBook Pro. The MacBook Pro works really well with the DVS system that I use to DJ, and that's why I got it. So but it really is breaking the bank. Like it broke the bank. Like literally broke the bank, went through the floor, and yeah, it did that. I had to took me a while to recover from that big spending that I did. But so for businesses, you have to think about the costs. It's not cheap, right? And for most business need, like if you need many workstations, you mind multiple these computers, it's a lot of money. Or if you're worried about standardized hardware, no, and predictable replacement, and because what IT does, what we do because of the mass work, what we do, like a client with like 15 or 20 or 25 computers, we kind of have like cycles. Like we say, okay, we bought this computer at X time, we're gonna get rid of it, we're gonna recycle out it at this time. Whether the computer is good or not, we just cycle it out at a certain time. It's hard to do that with Mac because MacBooks are just so expensive, right? So that's not ideal. So Windows PC often provides better pricing and to performance, easier bulk replacement, like I said, and more vendor option, more vendor support for a Windows PC than would be a Mac, right? So Macs can be the wrong choice when you come to scaling matters, right? I wouldn't if you have a lot of things, I wouldn't recommend that, right? And as far as like what I do in business, how I offer my service and I manage IT controls spectrum, it is tightly managed in a tightly managed environment, like what I would try to set up. It's group policies with the Active Directory and stuff like that doesn't really, it is not the best. Active Directory integration, like again, not the best. And legacy tooling it's not the best. So it doesn't work well in those situations. Again, it can, but it's a lot of tweaking. So Windows still integrates better in that kind of environment. So Macs can be managed, like I said, but it often requires additional tooling and expertise and all this other stuff, right? So the reality really is, as I've been preaching from before, and I think other people are taking it on now, other IT companies are doing this too, you need a hybrid environment. It's going to be a hybrid environment, kind of like what I have here in the studio. Because like, for instance, like I just mentioned, I have the 3 computers that are actually doing the broadcasting. Like there is servers too, because I have to broadcast to a Linux server that does the broadcast out to everybody. So I really have all 4 here. And this is kind of how I design all my networks, right? So for Mac to be integrated, you have to have that kind of a setup. So it's going to be, so the smartest business, for smarter businesses, you can't just have Macs or Windows, right? If you're going to do it, you have to choose Mac where it makes sense and Windows where it's required, right? And for example, you have Macs for the creative team, people who are doing graphic design, people who are doing like doing your social media marketing, and instead of making videos or they're doing podcasts, then we'll get the Mac, right? And then for your operational stuff, you try and true, you go with your Windows, right? And then for your backend stuff, your Linux can handle the firewalls and that kind of stuff. For your file servers or that kind of stuff, the Linux infrastructure for that. And then this hybrid approach would reduce friction instead of forcing ideology, right? So that's kind of what my approach will be. So the takeaway from this podcast, which is not going to be a very long one, but I think it was a good one to talk about, was that Mac is excellent. It's an excellent tool, but not a universal solution, right? So choose based on workflow, not brand, right? Again, this brand thing, I don't know. And for creative and media workflow, often that's the best option for it, and that's how I would buy it in that context. Like my kids could not say to me right now, given what they're doing in school, and say I want a Mac. Like, I'm not giving you a Mac. Like, no. Right, I'm not doing that unless you're a creative person and you have creative interests. Then yes, like my daughter who's doing drama, like she's doing acting and making videos and that kind of stuff, and she wants a Mac, well, that makes more sense, right? But she can't tell me she wants a Mac to do spreadsheets, right? Windows still dominates, believe it or not. many business applications. And for you to run that, you have to run some kind of a tool, for it to work, right? So a hybrid environment will be the best and normal and healthy thing to do when it comes to the Mac, in my opinion, right? So technology should support the work you're doing, not define it. So you shouldn't be able to say, well, I have a Mac office or I have a Windows office. You just have the tools you need to get your job done. And that's kind of why it's not a fanboying kind of thing, because I don't want people that swear up and down about Mac. And they do it really true because of the aesthetics and because of what it's the prestige it shows, and that doesn't make any sense. And again, like I said, like all of my tablets that I use in Alex Custom Tech, and I have one tablet and it's an iPad, right? And I have the MacBook Pro inside the office, inside the studio, and my phone is an iPhone. So it's not like I don't use Apple products, I do, right? But I use it where it makes sense, where it fits, where it helps my workflow. Because again, the iPad works really good for me in the field, on the fly, to do my invoicing. And my phone has always been an iPhone, which is really old because there's new iPhones now, and I have an iPhone 8. So, that goes straight that I'll keep things till the wheels fall off. And the MacBook Pro is in the studio and never leave the studio, and I'm only using it for the recording of the audio of my DJ sets, or use it to DJ or create podcasts. So yeah. So again, that's just my takeaway from it, right? So I mean, if it's something that you want to know about more, right, talk to your MSP. See if if you're planning on getting a Mac, talk to your MSP. Say, I'm planning on integrating this for my creative team. If there's something that you support, or can you help me out with this? How do I integrate this into the workflow? Or do I integrate this into the network? Talk to them about it. And keep a lookout for some kind of some editorial or some white paper or something on it. I'm gonna do some blog posts on this, right? And then also just keep checking out alexcustomtech.com. And if you're deciding, between Mac and Windows, like I said, or a hybrid environment, reach out to me or any MSP, right? So visit alexcustomtech.com or email me at info@alexcustomtech.com, and we can go from there. So I don't want to make this one too long. So until next time, stay practical, stay intentional, and keep acting on tech. All right?
Looking for tech that just works and someone who keeps it real? Tune in to Act on Tech, the podcast that breaks down everyday technology in plain English. No jargon, no hype, just tools, tips, and insights to help you stay productive, stay efficient, and keep acting on tech. Need gear you can count on? Visit the Alex Recommends page at alexcustomtech.com. It's full of trusted products, from smart cameras to mini PCs, handpicked and tested by Alex himself. And when it's time to get serious about your setup, Alex Custom Tech is here to help. From small business networks to smart home installs, we've got your back. So remember, listen to Act on Tech, shop smart with Alex Recommends, and get support from Alex Custom Tech. Stay productive, stay efficient, and keep acting on tech.
Hey there, Jersey and Eastern PA businesses. Ready to take your IT game to the next level? Get excited because Alex Custom Tech is coming your way. We're your go-to for IT support, bringing integrity and trust to every service. From network upgrades to virtualization and even relocating your IT setup, we've got you covered. Stay tuned as we put the finishing touches on our new site. Alex Custom Tech, helping your business thrive with top-notch IT support right in your backyard.
Welcome to Alex Custom Tech, your trusted partner for computer service and repair since 2010. We provide professional consulting services to clients throughout New Jersey and Pennsylvania, offering everything from computer repair to network design and installation. Our focus is on building efficient, results-driven professional relationships with our clients. We work with you to create customized solutions that fit your specific needs, whether you're an individual or an organization. Our comprehensive IT consulting services are designed to make your technology work more effectively for you. We provide solutions that meet your business's performance and utilization demands. Because we understand that when your technology doesn't work, neither do you. We specialize in network design and implementation, taking the pain out of network creation, maintenance, and repair. Our team understands that even minimal downtime can impact your productivity and revenue. That's why we offer 24/7 proactive monitoring and maintenance to strategically optimize and protect your infrastructure. For residential and business clients, we provide affordable and reliable computer repair services, available both on-site and at our location. Our commitment to quality is reflected in our satisfied customers' experiences. We service New Jersey and Pennsylvania. Alex Custom Tech is ready to serve your IT needs. Contact us today at 855-668-6315 or email info@alexcustomtech.com to discover how Alex Custom Tech can help optimize your technology solutions.